Shalom. My name is Adam, and I welcome you to the parable of the Vineyard. Every day, Yahweh is waking up a remnant, a group of people who are coming out of deceptions, realizing our walk is to consist of faith and obedience to His righteous commands. Each week, we read through and examine a portion of the Torah, allowing the Spirit of the Most High to guide, teach, and open our eyes and ears to the wondrous matters out of His law. Join us as we seek to be refined by His Word, preparing ourselves for the return of our King of Kings, being faithful and obedient, walking in His way, truth, and life. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome back, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Parable of the Vineyard. This is week 43. We're going to be finishing up the book of Numbers, chapter 33 through 36. Going to be recapping some of the wilderness experiences, the different stops. Really a lot of, obviously, reflections on our walk, our coming out of Egypt or coming out of Babylon, as Revelation 18 tells us to. A lot of us are realizing what that looks like, especially in a spiritual sense, in a literal physical sense in some cases. But nevertheless, fleeing to the Most High, of course, is the most important part here. But let's go ahead and start with prayer. We're going to blow the shofars. And then I want to start actually with 1 Corinthians 10 before we jump right into the Torah portion and finish up the book of Numbers. We're going to be talking a lot about the second Exodus. We're going to be talking about Egypt, end times Egypt, which I'm convinced at this point is the United States. Some of the other poetic names used for this end times country, like Moab, Assyria, this melting pot, if you will, of almost all the world religions, all the different ethnicities of people coming together into kind of a melting pot, and I think that's why it's poetically called all these different groups of people. So anyways, let's start with prayer. Heavenly Father, we just come before you, bless you, thank you for giving us even the word, preserving it for us, that we know to even come out of her and to come back to your ways and to repent and to believe in your Son who you sent. And Father, we just thank you for our leader, our king, our high priest. Thank you for the example, and we just want to be more like him. So we want to go to the front of the book and learn the foundations of everything Yahusha taught. Please bless us. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, so let's get the shofars ready. Let's blow them, and then we'll go to 1 Corinthians 10. Isaiah 58, I think it's 58, tells us to set the shofar to our mouths and to give his people warning. And it's warning, of course, of their wicked ways and to return back to his ways. But let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 here. And this is Paul's kind of parallel of the whole wilderness experience. It says, "Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Messiah." So Paul had the understanding that Messiah was the literal entity, or the God, if you will, the leader that was literally with them in the wilderness. He was that pillar of fire. He was that rock. But with many of them, Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Messiah, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed as serpents. Neither murmur you, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. There has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Elohim is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee idolatry. So this is important right here. This is really important. Actually, this part here is really important to me. Man, just a lot of us have been having a hard time. Enemy, it almost seems like the enemy has nothing better to do than to go after the people that have faith and obey the commandments. Wait, okay, that is written somewhere. Revelation, right? That's who he goes after. And I don't know if any of you can relate. I feel like sometimes he has a personal vendetta and war against this small group of people who are like, you know what? Even though everyone says forsake it, my heart is on your Torah, oh Yahweh, and I'm just going to keep it, even though it doesn't make sense, even though I get persecuted for it, even though I get laughed at it, I get, ostracized by family for it, even though I may just seem profane for doing such. I'm going to keep doing it. And so, anyways, forgive me for no camera this week. Quite frankly, please pray for me. Hard times, and honestly, not having the camera on, just makes me a little more comfortable and a little more ease. So I just decided to go no camera this week. Praise the Most High. So let's get into Numbers 33. So the point, obviously, is Abba's not going to give us more than we can handle. So we can handle it, is the point. And that gives me comfort. This verse gives me comfort, knowing that he won't give me more than I can handle. And, even if it's unto death, I mean, it's like we know what's next. And I don't know, that just gives me peace, knowing that he really does watch over us, and he does know every one of our lives. He does know what we're going through. It's not like we're crying to him and he's just like, his back is turned and he's just like, no, I won't hear you. Well, the Proverbs does say that. It does say that those who forsake the law, their prayer is an abomination to him. So I guess for some people he does that. But anyways, all right, let's go to Numbers 33. We're going to listen to the word audio read, and then we'll talk about it. And the bulk of today's study is actually in 33. We'll get to that point in a second. Praise Yah.
Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 33. These are the journeys of the children of Yashrael, which went forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, with their armies under the hand of Moshe and Aharon. And Moshe wrote their goings out according to the journeys by the commandment of Yahweh, and these are their journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow, after the Pesach. The children of Yashrael went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Mitzrim. For the Mitzrim buried all their firstborn, which Yahweh had smitten among them. Upon their Elohim also Yahweh executed judgments. And the children of Yashrael removed from Ramses and pitched in Sukkoth. And they departed from Sukkoth and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham, and they turned again unto Pi ha-Chairoth, which is before Baal Zephon. And they pitched before Migdol, and they departed from before Pi ha-Chairoth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey into the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Marah. And they removed from Marah, and came unto Elim. And in Elim were 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees, and they pitched there. And they removed from Elim, and encamped by the Red Sea. And they removed from the Red Sea, and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin, and encamped in Dovka. And they departed from Dovka, and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush, and encamped in Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim, and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai. And they removed from the desert of Sinai, and pitched at Kivrot hat Ta'ava. And they departed from Kivrot hat Ta'ava, and they encamped at Chatzeroth. And they departed from Chatzeroth, and pitched in Rithma. And they departed from Rithma, and pitched at Rimon Peretz. And they departed from Rimon Peretz, and pitched in Livna. And they removed from Livna, and pitched in Rika. And they journeyed from Rika, and pitched in Kehelatha. And they went from Kehelatha and pitched in Mount Shepher. And they removed from Mount Shepher and encamped in Harada. And they removed from Harada and pitched in Makheloth. And they removed from Makheloth and encamped at Tachath. And they departed from Tachath and pitched at Terach. And they removed from Terach and pitched in Mithka. And they went from Mithka and pitched in Chashmonah. And they departed from Chashmonah and encamped at Moseroth. And they departed from Moseroth and pitched in Bnei Yakan. And they removed from Bnei Yakan and encamped at Hor Hag Gidgad. And they went from Hor Hag Gidgad and pitched in Yotvatha. And they removed from Yotvatha and encamped at Ebrona. And they departed from Ebrona and encamped at Etzon Gever. And they removed from Etzon Gever and pitched in the wilderness of Sin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. And Aharon the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of Yahweh, and died there, in the 40th year after the children of Yashrael were come out of the land of Mitzrayim, in the first day of the 5th month. And Aharon was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the Negev, in the land of Canaan, heard the coming of the children of Yashrael. And they departed from Mount Hor, and pitched in Salmona. And they departed from Salmona, and pitched in Punon. And they departed from Punon, and pitched in Ovoth. And they departed from Ovoth, and pitched in Iye ha-Avarim, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Iyim, and pitched in Divon. And they removed from Divon, and encamped in Almon Divlataima. And they removed from Almon Divlataima, and pitched in the mountains of Avarim, before Nevu. And they departed from the mountains of Avarim, and pitched in the plains of Moab, by the Yarden, near Jericho. And they pitched by the Yarden, from Beit Ha-Yeshimoth, even unto Avel Hash-Shittim, in the plains of Moab. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe in the plains of Moab, by the Yarden near Jericho, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over the Yarden into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families. And to the more ye shall give the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falls, according to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eye, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them.
Okay, so what seems like just maybe something like a boring list of names of places, everything's for a reason. And honestly, as we were sitting here listening to it, I was looking at my notes. Each name of a town has a name meaning. Like names aren't just vain. There's a definition or a meaning behind each name. And each year I challenge others out there to maybe piece this together and maybe find something deeper. But as I was reflecting and listening to the scripture and looking over at the notes, I'm looking at some of these names here. Like when they first leave, they depart from Ramesses. Here, let's go there. All right, so they removed from Ramesses and pitched in Sukkot. So they left the child of the sun. There's a couple, two different meanings: child of the sun or son of God. And they went and dwelt in Sukkot, and so it's like you can really just let your mind stretch this and be like, well, maybe there is like a storyline here, like they left the place of sun worship and they went and dwelt in Sukkot, and obviously it's like a lot of us are left sun worship and we're going to his feast days. So I'm thinking, okay, is there some like kind of cool story being weaved here? And then the next name is Etham, the plowshare. Pi-Hiroth, the place where the sedge grows, and before Migdal, the tower. Mara, bitterness. Elim, big trees. So it's like Mara, bitterness. It's like who of us have not experienced bitterness while being in this walk? It's almost like our life almost in some ways got harder. And we found different types of tribulations. Like before, it was like, well, at least like I can only speak from my experience. Before, it was like depression and anxiety and like all sorts of different things. And of course, the dealing with the weight of my own sin and my own terrible decision makings and the things that I got myself into. But now it's like coming into a different life, coming into a clean life of walking in His ways. It's like the challenges are much different. But it's like He strengthens you if you trust in Him. Of course, if you take these challenges the wrong way, like the children of Israel did in the wilderness, then you're going to fail these tests. And so it's like, who of us didn't, have bitterness along the way or come across thorns? And, obviously some of these are really broad. Heap of ruins in the assembly and brightness and the fear of Yah, the place of the assembly. Like I'm really just I'm thinking of my own life right now. Obviously, it's easy for people to just apply their own life to the scriptures, but it's like I'm thinking like this place we're at right now. It was a heap of ruins. It was like a trash pit with 400 abandoned cars and just trash everywhere, and Yah's people have cleaned it up, and there's an assembly here, and there's brightness, and there's the fear of Yah, and this is the place of the assembly. It's a place of support. It's a stopping station. It's definitely sweetness here, and there's fatness here, and we're coming into the bonds of Yahweh's Torah. And this is not like bond, like I'm bound in handcuffs. This is bonds in an opposite way. In Psalm 2, the people of the earth, the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against His anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us. This word bands, there can be bands or bonds, and it's typically interpreted as like get the Torah away from us. We don't want these bonds. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes here, and you're like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, Tahath, support; Tara, stopping station; Mithka, sweetness; Hashmona, fatness; Moseroth, bonds. I don't know. Anyways, it's just kind of neat, and I'm just realizing it's these names are not just written for no reason, but yeah. So let's take a look at. Actually, honestly, towards the end, we've been talking about Moab, Egypt quite a bit. And so the whole journey brought him towards the end of the journey was Moab. Moab is the cell setting of the book of Deuteronomy, where Moses recounts everything and gives more clarification and even additional laws right before they go in the promised land. And so there's something about this stop in Moab before they cross over into the promised land that I really honestly I feel like we are this generation that's coming back to His Torah, getting ready to inherit the promised land. Note Exhibit B here. It shall come to pass, Deuteronomy 30's Exhibit B, it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and shall call them to mind among all the nations where Yahweh has driven you. So this is the dispersion, right? The end of the dispersion. And shall return to Yahweh, shall obey His voice according to all that I command you this day, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul, that then Yahweh will turn your captivity and have compassion on you, and will return and gather you from the nations where Yahweh scattered you. And he's like, it doesn't matter where you've been. Doesn't matter. But the mark of that is coming back to his Torah. And so I like to make a case that I believe Moab is very similar, or is the same place as Egypt. Here at the beginning of this chapter in 33, it talked about how, for Mitzrayim buried their firstborn, which Yahweh has smitten among them. Upon their gods, their Elohim, also Yahweh executed judgments. And this is something that you see echoed in the prophets for this second Exodus, what's coming, the end. So let's just kind of get right into it. So Exodus 12:12, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh. So will he repeat this again, the firstborn in the land of Egypt? Maybe so. We know at least this will happen again. He states it specifically that he's going to execute, against all the gods of Egypt will he execute judgment. I'll show you here in a couple places. First, let's go to Jeremiah 23. Is going to talk. It's going to kind of set the stage for everything else and talk about the second Exodus. And we'll see that this house of David, the throne of David, is the center point, is kind of the mark also of really the start of all this. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name whereby he shall be called Yahweh our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, they shall no more say, Yahweh lives, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh lives, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all the countries where I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So this is second Exodus talk. Let's go to Isaiah 19. So we just read in Numbers about executing judgment on the gods of Egypt. So it says, the burden of Egypt, and I'm reading from the perspective of, I do believe this is speaking about the United States. Behold, Yahweh rides upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, I believe this is happening in many levels in America. I don't sit here and present the case of all the levels of division in America, but to quickly mention a few: political, race, ethnicity. You've got this immigration thing. You've got, I think I already said political parties. All different schools of thoughts. Religion, no religion, this sect of Christianity, that sect of Christianity, even inside, the Torah movement. And then imagine, and this is, imagine if things got really hard here. Let's say there really was this economic collapse, which, by the way, this chapter is going to clearly detail for us. Imagine how much harder it will get when people don't actually have food, and they'll be killing each other over these things. I think we're going to read 2 Ezra 15 later, which literally will detail that for us. Literally a type of scenario where people are going from house to house, breaking doors down to get food. Nevertheless, we'll get there. So we have Egyptian against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city. You got people that literally kill each other because they like a different football team. And obviously that's a ridiculous end of the spectrum, but obviously there's much in between there too. So, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, which, by the way, I think this is a note to these unclean spirits that Revelation talks about, how they go and they'll do miracles. And I believe a lot of the leaders and a lot of the musicians carry these things. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel master, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says Yahweh, Yahweh Sabaoth. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. This is a financial collapse. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither. The paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither and be driven away and be no more. The fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament. and they that spread nets upon the waters shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave in network shall be confounded, and they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that make sluices and ponds for fish. So this is like making plans to basically just squeeze money out of people, right? And I'm thinking like the hospital systems and, the debt systems and the Fed reserves, and that's all this stuff, all of it. And a lot of this is just prophetic speech for financial collapse. So all this stuff you've been watching for over the years of all this stuff that's coming, it's coming. It is. But for those who have faith and obedience, they have nothing to worry about. Your fear should be towards Yahweh, not towards this financial collapse that's coming. Surely the princes of Zoan, this is Egyptian leaders, are fools. The counsels of the wise counselors of Pharaoh has become brutish. So it's like, even though there's like this Christian veneer party or Christian veneer administration, there's no wisdom. True wisdom, of course, is obedience to the Torah. They have none of that. I can't say none. Excuse me. I don't. Let me not be too broad in condemnation. But this things that Yahweh echoes all throughout the scriptures that really does matter to him. That even people within Torah are reducing the importance by calling it just, the Sabbath is not really a big deal, or the Tzitzit not a big deal, or the feast day is not a big deal. Just because you've been doing it doesn't diminish its importance in the eyes of the Most High. So if you have a nation that's void of these things, the Sabbaths and the feast days and clean eating, and they perpetuate the opposite, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Sunday. So, what are we even talking about? The counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh has come brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I'm the son of the wise, son of the ancient kings? Where are they? Where are your wise men? Let them tell you now, and let them know what Yahweh of hosts has purposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoan are become fools. The princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. So it's like this is like the housing place for the tribes of Israel, that most of them don't even know that they are the tribes of Israel. Doesn't matter the skin color, by the way. We know that we are Israel by faith in Yahusha. If you haven't checked it out, Galatians 3 and 4 really outlines this, that those who are physically born of Israel are likened unto the bondwoman, but those that are born after the Spirit, so regardless of race and ethnicity, are the child of the promise, the Isaac, if you will. And so it's like, no need to sit around and be like, well, even what skin color were they? It doesn't even matter. The real children of Israel are not identified by their skin color, but are identified by their belief in Yahusha and the following in his discipleship, as aka walking according to the Torah, the commandments. Yahweh has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggers in his vomit. This is Torah disobedience language. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Now this is a little more specific, of course, that work employment is going to plummet. And that day Egypt shall be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh Sabaoth, which he shakes over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that makes mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of Yahweh Sabaoth, which he has determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to Yahweh of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. The Septuagint, and I think the Aramaic, actually both call it the city of righteousness. In that day there shall be an altar to Yahweh in the middle of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to Yahweh. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto Yahweh of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto Yahweh because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior, and a great one, and he shall deliver them. And Yahweh shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know Yahweh in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation, yea, they shall vow a vow unto Yahweh and perform it. And Yahweh shall smite Egypt, he shall smite it and heal it, and they shall return even to Yahweh, and he shall be entreated of them, and shall heal them. And that day there shall be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day Israel shall be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom Yahweh of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria the work of my hands, and Israel my inheritance. So, long story short, I believe that this is highlighting America, and in the middle of America, something's going to spring forth, and Yahweh is going to love it. And after this devastation, which right here he says, he shall smite it. So the smiting was what we read about the financial collapse, the brother against brother. There's going to be lots of chaos. There's going to be lots of death. A lot of the things that we're expecting. A lot of things that even they're preparing for the masses in movies, but they're directing, of course, their attention somewhere else. Like, hey, this is why all this is going to happen. It's going to happen because of radioactive fallout. It's going to happen because of nukes. It's going to happen because of zombies. It's going to happen because of the T virus. It's going to happen because of Wuhan. It's going to happen, whatever. Climate change, whatever it is, it's going to happen because there's too many cows. Whatever they're going to say, it doesn't matter. It's going to be false. And that's what it says up here, that people are going to be looking, oh gosh, where's where it says they're going to look to the wizards. Verse 3. So the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols. So the people, the mass of the peoples are going to seek to the idols, the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So that's where their attention is going to be for that. And that's how they're still going to be deceived. But something's going to happen. He shall smite it and heal it, and they shall return to Yahweh, and he shall be entreated of them. So something's going to change. There's going to be some sort of event where the people's eyes are turned back to Yahweh, almost like an Elijah moment where the fire comes down and the people turn back and be like, Yahweh, he is Elohim. Like, well, we will serve him, right? But this will be a more permanent, because after that, right, they're going to serve Yahweh, whom Yahweh shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people, Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, mine inheritance. Let's go to Jeremiah 43:11. And when he comes, he shall smite the land of Egypt, and deliver such as for the death to death, and such as for captivity to captivity, and such as for the sword to the sword. And so this is just the same thing that happened in Babylon when he destroyed Babylon. Even the captain was like, hey, Jeremiah, my buddy, hey, you can do whatever you want. You want to stay here? Cool. You want to come with us to Babylon? That's fine too. Do whatever you want. You're on the okay list. Because it's like Yahweh almost himself handed Nebuchadnezzar, like, hey, these people die, these people go to captivity, these people are totally protected, by me. And so that's why it's saying, whoever's for this, for this, for this, for this. Verse 12, and I will kindle a fire in the houses of the gods of Egypt, and he shall burn them, and carry them away captives, and he shall array himself with the land of Egypt, as a shepherd puts on his garment, and he shall go forth from thence in peace. So this is like, right, this is the deliverance. He shall break also the images of Beth Shemesh, that is in the land of Egypt, and in the houses of the gods of the Egyptians shall he burn with fire. So this is the house of the sun. He shall destroy the houses of the sun. So this land is filled with sun worship, sun idolatry. These pillars like the Washington Monument, sun worship. You travel this country, almost every mountaintop, the highest peak, right? In almost every state, they'll have like their trophy and their altars to their god, their sun god. So Yahweh's going to raise up somebody in these last days and is going to destroy these things like Josiah did. Like Josiah was reared up in the land and destroyed all the idolatrous priests, all the idolatrous images. It's happening. It's coming. Zechariah 10:10, I will bring them also, again, out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. We'll bring them into the land of Gilead, this is the rocky region, and Lebanon, and shall place them, and place shall not be found for them. And he shall pass through the sea with affliction. So this is like second Exodus talk. And shall smite the waves in the sea, and all the depths of the river shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. So this is that river, this is the power of America dwindling. And I will strengthen them in Yahweh, and they shall walk up and down in his name, says Yahweh. So there's a group of people, they're going to be in the midst of this country, that he's going to strengthen, he's going to glorify, and he's going to set to be rulers of this country. Exodus 15:13-17, you, in your, this is the song of Moses, no doubt, but also a song of prophecy, not just history. You in your mercy has led forth the people which you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength unto your holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestine. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, another name, I believe, for this country. The mighty men of Moab will get there, I believe, a name for this country. Trembling shall take hold of them, all the inhabitants of Canaan, I believe, which is also highlighted here in Isaiah 19. This is all just kind of poetic talk here, but it all kind of goes together. He says, in that day 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan, and shall swear to Yahweh hosts. One shall be called the city of, in my opinion, righteousness. So all the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of your arm they shall be as still as a stone, till your people pass over, O Yahweh, till the people pass over which you have purchased. You shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahweh, which you have made for you to dwell in the sanctuary, O Yahweh, which your hands have established. And by the way, I believe Zechariah 2 gives lots of place here that he's going to choose Jerusalem again, as in he's going to lay out a brand new place here. I lifted up my eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, Where do you go? And he said to me, To measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, an angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, Run, speak to these young men, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, Yahweh, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, says Yahweh. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, says Yahweh. Deliver yourself, O Zion, that dwells with the daughter of Babylon. Another name, I believe, for this country, the daughter of Babylon. For thus says Yahweh, because, what other country took after Babylon? Mystery Babylon, the mother of all harlots, the one who all of the blood of the prophets, her hands are guilty of all the blood of the prophets, which Matthew 23 clearly says is Jerusalem. And so, if Jerusalem is mother harlot, what country would be the daughter of the group of people that carry the name of God and say they believe in the Bible and say that they believe in the King of Kings and lead people astray away from the Torah, which is necessary to enter into the gates, according to Revelation 22. And of course, the entire Bible teaches us that if you want to be with the Most High, you need to keep His commandments. It's like His house rules. So, deliver yourself, O Zion, that dwells with the daughter of Babylon. For thus says Yahweh hosts, after the glory has He sent me unto the nations which spoiled of you. For he that touches you touches the apple of His eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of you, says Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of you. And so consider, this is also that Isaiah 19 language that said, Egypt my people, Assyria the work of my hands, Israel my inheritance. So I'll dwell in the midst of you, and you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me unto you. And Yahweh shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. There it is. He had Shiloh, then he chose Jerusalem, and then he's going to choose Jerusalem again. In my opinion, he's starting here in the ancient hills of Israel, to which is the westernmost border of the sea. We'll get there in Numbers 34. It's part of this Torah portion. Let's go to Psalm 83. I believe this is kind of an interesting parallel. Psalm 83, I believe, talks about America, and really, she's the leader of the assembled nations. Keep not silence, O Elohim, hold not your peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. And so consider his enemies, his true enemies have actually been his own people that forsake the Torah. And clearly, Exodus 20, I just want to show this to you with your own eyes. Exodus 20, this is the giving of the commandments. He says, You shall not bow down yourself to serve them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So by implication and by reasoning, we can clearly see that those that hate him would be the opposite of those that keep his commandments. So I believe he's saying here that his enemies, this large group of people that hate him, and that can be all sorts of religions that don't keep his commandments, right? They have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. This is actually going to be really important. Remember this term when we get to Isaiah 16. He's going to have a group of people that are hidden and protected. But at some point, I guess they become unhidden, right? And consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Remember when I said in Psalm 2 that pretty much the whole world gathers together, the heathen, so the nations, so this is the ungodly, and even the people. So even the ones that are supposed to be his people, they imagine a vain thing. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his Mashiach, saying, let us break their bands or their bonds asunder and cast away their cords from us. Or, I'm sorry, this word cords is the same word as that word bonds. So they're like, get the Torah away from us. And so this is what they're saying here. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the Torah of Israel, if we didn't see our study about the name of Yahweh being synonymous with his Torah, I've got it on Parable here and also Ancient Path Revivals channel. So they want to cut off the Torah that it may be no more in remembrance, zakar. And zakar is typically a word like used in, speaking of Exodus 20. We'll go back there. In Exodus 20, it says here, zakar, the Sabbath day. So they don't want the Sabbath day. They want Sunday. They don't want Pesach and Sukkot. They want Easter and other things. So if there's a group of people that, for whatever reason, their voice gets loud, that gets the attention of the world, and they're preaching Torah obedience, well, what would the whole world want to do? Satanists don't want the Torah. Atheists don't want the Torah. Buddhists don't want the Torah. Taoists don't want the Torah. Muslims don't want the Torah. Christians certainly don't want the Torah. So what could the whole world unite against? Well, this Torah that has honestly been misinterpreted, mispromoted, abused. Because at some point, the nations are gonna be like, wow, what great Torah you have. But until that happens, until this big spanking from Abba happens for all these nations that come to do this, they're like, hey, let's cut off the Torah. And let's cut off this group of people that are like, hey, Torah, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. The tabernacles of Edom, Ishmaelites, Moab will be really the bigger part of the study. Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. And consider that all these people have helped the children of Lot, who are Moab and Ammon. And consider that the hub of this is going to be Moab, I believe, is one of the major nameplates for America. America, the daughter of Babylon. But that sounds like an unlawful union. Well, isn't that the whole story of Lot and his daughters, this unlawful union that is related to the Israelites? Anyways, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. This is just obviously massive defeats. They became as dung on the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, like Zeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah, as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Elohim in possession. And that's basically what's happening right now. I believe this country is the creme de la creme of his creation. What country is more easily defendable with the basically moat around it? It's the best defended position. Look at the geography of the whole world. And I am not a renowned world traveler or anything, but I've been around the world. I've seen some things. And I have not seen a country more beautiful that incorporates all the different elements of his creation in one place. I'll make my point a little further when we get to Numbers 34, when he talks about the borders for Israel. There's interesting language used that talks about your westernmost border will be the Great Sea. Now, one could say, well, all they knew back then was the Great Sea. Well, is Yahweh's word, does it stand true forever? Or did it only stand true back then? And so if the Great Sea is the Mediterranean, okay, but is it possible that Great Sea could be the Pacific Ocean, the furthest ends of the western border that we know of? O my Elohim, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burns a wood, as the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with your tempest, and make them afraid with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Yahweh. And so that's the whole point here. They came together against this group, and they're like, they want to destroy the name. They want to destroy the Torah of Yahweh from even being mentioned, because Jesus supposedly came and did it away with it. And then, of course, the rest of the nations are like, we don't want that anyways. But it's like all this, it's like, do this so that they may seek your name, O Yahweh. And that's what we saw in Isaiah 19. They get smitten. He shall smite it and heal it, and they shall return to Yahweh. And so that's the prophecy here that David's saying. I don't know which psalm this is accredited to, but fill their faces with shame that they may seek your name, O Yahweh. And that's why Daddy spanks and spanks hard, is to get people to turn back to him. Let them be confounded and troubled forever, yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that you, whose name alone is Yahweh, are the Most High over all the earth. So Isaiah 11:10, and that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. We're going to talk about these outcasts in a second. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah. Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab. Again, this is, I believe, poetic names for America. Just stick with me. I'll prove it further here in a second with some clear passages of the identity of Moab, at least Moab in this study. And the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. We read that in Isaiah 19. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. In my opinion, this is a spiritual crossing over, people crossing over that Yahweh is making this way in these last days. There should be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. And so I believe that there will be a literal physical gathering. He's just going to bring his people. But in a spiritual way, he's literally freeing people from the clutches of Pharaoh, ultimately the big Pharaoh, the head honcho Pharaoh, Satan, which I believe Ezekiel 29 through 32 clearly is passages about Satan, much like Ezekiel 28 with the king of Tyre. But let's go here. Jeremiah 9:25, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I'll punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. I believe that this wilderness specifically it's talking about is America, which is called these different names. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in heart. So let's go a little further now with Moab. Let's go to Isaiah 25, and you'll see that this end times place where Yah's people are gathered to and end up basically taking over. It's like Yahweh's like, hey, I'm going to set up my house in the top of the house. It says, therefore shall the strong people glorify you. The city of the terrible nations shall fear you. For you have been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. You shall bring down the noise of the strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with a shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. So these are the haughty people that are coming against. He's going to bring him down very low. And in this mountain, so we're going to get the identity of this mountain. Some of you already know this, but in the identity, and in this mountain shall Yahweh of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines and lees, of fat things that full on the marrow, of wines on the lees well refined. This sounds like where the kingdom, this sounds like where the hub or the center of the kingdom is. This is what sounds like where he's going to come down and set his name. And we're going to see that this mountain here is Moab. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people. And so what country could be known, pinpointed as spreading the veil over the rest of the nations and blinding them from the true way? With movies, with awful music, with Babylonian influences, with all sorts of satanic influences. So, and he's going to destroy in this mountain the face. The face is the representation, the hub, the smarts, the brains, covering and cast over all the people, and the veil that is spread over all the nations. He will swallow up death in victory, and Yahweh will wipe away all tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth, for Yahweh has spoken it. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of Yahweh rest. Where? And Moab shall be trodden down under him. So think about spiritually a mountain peak that reigns over all the nations. He's like, guess what? I'm going to set my house on the top of this, and then everything underneath it's going to topple. And what is this place called? It's called Moab, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill. I don't know of a more dominant ruling power than America that is called Egypt, that is called Moab. And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swims spreads forth his hands to swim, and he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. So I don't know of a more prideful nation as well. We'll actually get a little further into that. But backing up to a few Torah portions ago, maybe to give a little more context, Numbers 21:14, wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahweh, which, it probably is still yet to be found, what he did in the Red Sea. So we know that with the first Exodus, and in the brooks of Arnon. I think this is to come. And at the stream of the brooks that goes down to the dwelling of Ar, and that lies upon the border of Moab. And so the brook of Arnon is the border of Moab. And so I believe that he's like first Exodus here, what's written here, and hey, a lot more to come. At the fords of Arnon, it's coming. So let's read more about Moab. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land, from Selah, the rock, to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that, as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. It's coming. Take counsel, execute judgment, make your shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday, hide the outcasts, betray not him that wanders. And so this is literally a order to Moab. Let my outcast dwell with you. Be a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. For the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler ceases, the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established. And he shall sit upon it in truth, so in Torah, in the house of David, judging, seeking judgment, and hasting righteousness. So literally, Yahweh's like, Moab, you ruling country, inside of you, let my outcast dwell. Hide them. Right? So remember it said, hidden ones, they have taken crafty counsel against your... Yeah. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. And so, right, it says, hide the outcasts. Betray not him that wanders. Let my outcast dwell with you. And so in this country that allows all religions to dwell, also allows Yahweh's religion to dwell. And so if there's a group of people that are allowed to start keeping his Torah, maybe at some point Yahweh's like, hey, I'm going to fulfill what I wrote. That when all these things shall come to pass, the blessing and the curse, and then when you call them to mind among all the nations where I've sent you, and shall return to Yahweh and obey his voice. Now, consider this would have to be done in a country where this is allowed. Consider that people have suffered this, and there's countries where people would suffer death for Torah obedience right now, period. But he made provisions for it in Moab. Let my outcast dwell with you. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging, seeking judgment, and hasting righteousness. So we have heard the pride of Moab. He's very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his life shall not be so. So what country is known for being wrathful? And which that would be, of course, military prowess that would allow them to go into any country and basically do what they want, being very known for prideful, haughty. But therefore shall Moab howl from Moab. Everyone shall howl. The foundations of Kir Haresh shall ye mourn. Surely they are stricken. So, by the way, at the end, I'm going to play a new song that I felt led to make. I felt inspiration by the Ruach HaKodesh to make. And it's pretty much about this prophecy. And I figured I want it to come to pass. I want Yahusha's house to be built back up. I want his throne to be erected. I want to prepare the way so that the God of Israel can come and do his work. I want it, so I wanted to sing about it. Jeremiah 48, 1-2. Against Moab, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel. Woe unto Nebo, for it's spoiled. Kirithaim is confounded and taken. Mizgab is confounded and dismayed. There shall be no more praise of Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against it. Heshbon is, I forgot the term for Heshbon. Oh, stronghold, right? And so it's like, we were talking about it, I think last week, about how they got a stronghold in the promised land, and they use that as the springboard to go in and cross over and take the rest of the... So consider, they're in Moab, they get the stronghold of Heshbon, but here it says, this is a prophetic, in the end times, this city called Heshbon, the nations, what we read in Psalm 83, have devised evil against it. This is Psalm 2, come, let us cut it off from being a nation. So even though Yahweh has born a nation in one moment and did something to get the attention of all the nations are like, come, let us cut it off. Also, you shall be cut down, O madmen, the sword shall pursue you. Going down to verse 7, for because you have trusted in your works and in your treasures, you shall also be taken. And so consider, they've left the works of Yahweh, the Torah, and trusted in their own. And so it's interesting that they flip it upside down, and they say that people that keep Torah are trusting in their own works when they're actually literally projecting themselves because they're trusting in their own works, that they just trust in Jesus' works, that they don't have to do any works. And so literally it's crazy. And I'm not condemning them, but I'm just saying this is what the prophecies are saying. So this is really going to happen. Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. And the spoilers shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as Yahweh has spoken. So a lot of people are going to lose their lives. Give wings unto Moab, that it may flee and get away, for the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell in it. Now listen, this is an interesting little thing about Moab. Cursed be he that does the work of Yahweh deceitfully. So what country could be poetically called Moab that would fit this description, that does the work of Yahweh deceitfully? And even if all is done in the name of Jesus and salvation and the cross and baptism and Holy Spirit, but there's no obedience to the Torah, I can't say no, but let's just talk about it. The stuff he mentions over and over. He literally said, I'm sending you into captivity because you broke my Sabbaths. And so if that's one of the 10 commandments, we can't be like, oh, well, Christians do all this, but they don't do the Sabbath, so stop judging them. I'm not judging them, but we have to point out what they need. They need the Sabbath. We can't just say they're fine and stop judging them when we need to tell them about the Sabbath. So what nation would be cursed that does the work of Yahweh deceitfully, that maybe compasses sea and land to make one convert, and when they do, they make him twice the child of hell than themselves? That's what Messiah said straight up to the Pharisees that thought they were literally serving God day and night, but did so according to man-made traditions. So is there a daughter of Babylon that is doing the exact same thing, and maybe in a much greater way, by using the blood of Christ to promote a lawless faith? So cursed be he that does the work of Yahweh deceitfully, and cursed be he that keeps back his sword from blood. Moab has been at ease from his youth, and has settled on his lees, and has not been emptied vessel to vessel, neither has gone into captivity. So is there a country today that has never been fully taken in captivity? It's like, right? England tried, and they even tried with a civil war, and this country has never gone into captivity. Now, people have come into captivity in this country. That's a whole different story. But this country has not gone into captivity. Therefore, his taste remains in him, and his scent is not changed. The depravity of this country only got worse. It started off with a group of people that, some of them, of course, were bound and taken and brought here and sold as slaves. Some came here and sold themselves as slaves, called indentured servitude, and became slaves for 7 years by contract to work, pay for their ship ticket, and then eventually inherit some land. Was started by people that literally wanted to flee the influences of papal overreach and the Church of England overreach and the famine of hearing the word. So I believe this second Exodus has been happening for 400 years. And this country started off in some good ways. Like, they banned Christmas. That was illegal for a while, up until, I think the last state was, Oklahoma, and was it late 1800s, early 1900s? But of course, it's just gotten worse and worse to where it's the most depraved nation, in my opinion. So therefore, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will send unto him wanderers that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels and break their bottles. And Moab, so this wanderers thing, this reminds me of what was actually written in Isaiah 16. It says, hide the outcast, betray not him that wanders. And so, therefore, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will send unto him wanderers that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels and break their bottles. And Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. So this is giving you a parallel that this is the same stuff. This is his people. Moab is his people, just like Israel. How say ye, we are mighty and strong men of war? Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, says the king, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hastes fast. All you that are about him bemoan him, and all you that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? This is the strong staff. This country is the strong staff that rules the world right now. You daughter that does inhabit Dibon, come down from your glory, and sit and thirst, for the spoiler of Moab shall come upon you, and he shall destroy your strongholds. So Heshbon, right? Out of Heshbon will go forth a fire and destroy their strongholds. O inhabitant of Aroer, stand by the way, espy and ask him that flees, and escape her that escapes, and say, what is done, right? Inhabitants of Aroer, what is done? They threw away the Torah of the mighty one. Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry. Tell ye in Arnon that Moab is spoiled. Down to verse 28. O you that dwell in Moab, you, leave the cities and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that makes her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. Now, I'm not saying this is a literal command at this point. At this point, I believe a spiritual command in, I'm trying to think of the spiritual here parallel. Here's a, is Isaiah 58 or 56? 58 maybe? Yeah, here we go. Is Isaiah 58:13. So here the Sabbath, for example. I didn't plan this. If you shall turn your way from the foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath the delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, then shall you delight yourself in Yahweh, and I will cause you to ride on the high places of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father. So I believe what this is saying here, dwell on the rock and be like the dove that makes her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth, I believe is a kind of a spiritual implication of keeping his ways, and I will cause you to ride on the high places of the earth. I will lift you up. I will put you in a spiritual protection place, kind of like a Psalm 91 kind of protection. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So we trust in his shadow. We trust in the shadow of his Shabbats, his feast days. I think that's what Paul was talking about. You're a shadow of things to come. So surely he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He'll cover you, right? So he will protect those that abide and trust in him. Where is it here? Because he has set his love upon me, which Yahusha says, if you love me, keep my commandments, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high. So he sets us on high. We don't lift ourselves up. We are meek and humble. We take the lowest seats, and he elevates us. But he says, I will set him on high because he has known my name. This is Torah obedience. And so O you that dwell in Moab, leave the cities, dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that makes her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. If I believe this is a literal command, I will let you know. I mean, I personally don't want to be in the cities now. But I'm not trying to evoke any fear of anybody trying to, like, you gotta leave the city, you got 3 days of darkness, or the shelves are gonna be empty tomorrow. I don't have any of that info. That has not been downloaded to me. I know I felt led to leave the city, and Yahweh placed us here in more of a rural area, about 45 minutes from Springfield, Missouri. So we have heard the pride of Moab. He's exceeding proud, his loftiness, his arrogancy, his pride, and his haughtiness of his heart. I know his wrath, says Yahweh, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not affect it so. I mean, what is this? What country is this? Therefore, I will howl for Moab. I will cry out for all Moab. My heart shall mourn. So now this is really getting to it. This is a country of people who have some of the indicators already mentioned. But now the Most High is going to mourn for them because they're supposed to be his. Just like he mourned for the destruction. How for the daughter of the... Yeah. And so this is Lamentations. My eyes do fail with tears, my bowels are troubled, my liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings and the swoon in the streets. The destruction. So his eye runs down, the destruction of the daughter of his people. So this is his people once again. This is like O vine of Sibma, I will weep for you with the weeping of Jazer. Your plants are gone over the sea. So his branches, this is a worldwide dominance, are gone over the sea. Going down to verse 40 of Jeremiah 48, for thus says Yahweh, behold, he shall fly as an eagle and shall spread his wings over Moab. This is the same thing we saw in Isaiah 19. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rides upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Egyptian against Egyptian. It's the same talk. He shall fly as an eagle and shall spread his wings over Moab. Kirioth is taken, strongholds are surprised, the mighty men's hearts of Moab. At that day shall be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. So this is the same talk as Egypt. This is the same place. He's going to come down one time and do this. This is one place that's called different names. Moab shall be destroyed from being a people because he has magnified himself against Yahweh. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be on you, O inhabitant of Moab, says Yahweh. He that flees from the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that gets up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, says Yahweh. They that fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon because of the force. But a fire shall come forth out of Heshbon, this stronghold that Yahweh is setting up. And a flame from the midst of Sihon shall devour the corner of Moab and the crown of the head of the tumultuous ones. Zephaniah 2, I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. So in this place that's spiritually called Moab, Ammon, Egypt, Yahweh has borders. He's got a city. He's got a town. Therefore, as I live, says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even as the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of Yahweh of hosts. Yahweh shall be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, everyone from his place, even the isles of the heathen. Here we go. Jeremiah 46, verse 7. Who is this that comes up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Egypt rises up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he says, I will go up, I will cover the earth, I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof. So literally, Yahweh places a city, and Egypt, Moab, Ammon, Psalm 83 literally surrounds this place and says, let's cut off the name, the Torah of the Most High. But we know how the rest of that story goes. Praise the Most High Yahweh. So at the end of this Torah portion, I'm going to play a song called My Outcasts that kind of tries to summarize everything we just learned there. So I know that was a really big, I don't know if we call it rabbit trail, but I'm feeling that it's really relevant to our times, and and taking some of these elements of this Torah portion. And so, anyway, so again, Numbers 33, Moab, the idols of Egypt, just a lot of things tying in together. So let's play Numbers 34 in here. I don't have a lot to say here, but here we'll see, if you listen closely, if you actually just listen with a perspective of, hey, if this is the living word and it can apply also in our days, just listen from that perspective. Praise God.
Bemidbar, Numbers chapter 34. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe, saying,
Command the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall unto you for an inheritance, even the land of Canaan, with the coasts thereof. Then your south quarter shall be from the wilderness of Tzin, along the coast of Edom, and your south border shall be the outmost coast of the salt sea, eastward. And your border shall turn from the Negev to the ascent of Ma'ale Akrabim, and pass on to Sin. And the going forth thereof shall be from the Negev to Kadesh Barnea, and shall go on to Chatzar Adar, and pass on to Atzmon. And the border shall fetch a compass from Atzmon unto the river of Mitzrayim, and the goings out of it shall be at the sea. And as for the western border, ye shall even have the great sea for a border. This shall be your west border, and this shall be your north border. From the great sea ye shall point out for you Mount Hor. From Mount Hor ye shall point out your border unto the entrance of Hamath, and the going forth of the border shall be to Zedad. And the border shall go on to Ziphron, and the goings out of it shall be at Chatzar Enan. This shall be your north border. And ye shall point out your east border from Chatzar Enan to Shepham. And the coast shall go down from Shepham to Rivlah, on the east side of Ayin. And the border shall descend, and shall reach unto the side of the sea of Kinneroth eastward. And the border shall go down to the Yarden, and the goings out of it shall be at the salt sea. This shall be your land, with the coasts thereof round about.
And Moshe commanded the children of Yasharel, saying, This is the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which Yahweh commanded to give unto the 9 tribes, and to the half-tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance. And half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The 2 tribes and the half-tribe have received their inheritance on this side of the Yarden, near Jericho, eastward, toward the sunrising. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
These are the names of the men which shall divide the land unto you: Eleazar the priest, and Yahusha the son of Nun. And ye shall take 1 prince of every tribe, to divide the land by inheritance. The names of the men are these: of the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb the son of Jephunneh; and of the tribe of the children of Shimon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud; of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Kiklon; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Dan, Bukai the son of Yoglai; prince of the children of Joseph, for the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Chaniel the son of Ephod; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel the son of Shiptan; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elitzaphan the son of Parnak; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Issachar, Paltiel the son of Azan; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Asher, Achihud the son of Shelomai; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pedahel the son of Ammihud.
These are they whom Yahweh commanded to divide the inheritance unto the children of Yasharel in the land of Canaan.
All right, praise the Most High. So I don't know if you saw it, it said your western border shall be the Great Sea. And so, I don't know, just it seems like the north and south borders would still remain, but, obviously it can extend to the west. Really, it really makes a lot of sense to me. And so basically what I'm insinuating here is that this is a living document that would still apply to the children of Israel today, if not Deuteronomy 39. There is no Deuteronomy 39. With all my keyboard memorization finger skills, I still always have a hard time with the numbers up top. All right. So it's like, if this is going to happen one day, that we come back to the Torah, he gathers us, we then, into the land of inheritance. We were specifically reading how in Moab, in that mountain, he would set his name. So I'm thinking that, if it's Yahweh's will, he can move the borders. And that's basically what he does. That's what we read in Zechariah 2. And honestly, kind of re-looking at Revelation 11, it's this Revelation 11 measuring the temple. Oh, and then, I'm sorry, maybe it's Zechariah 4. Is it Zechariah 4? No, 3 through... Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so you have these building tools. I'm sorry, kind of going all over the place here. The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it, and you shall know that Yahweh Sebaot has sent me unto you. And so it's like this, I don't know, this new territory, in my opinion, gets laid out. And I'm convinced at this point that his name is not going to be set in the Mediterranean over there. I believe he's done over there. Otherwise, it's like, how can Deuteronomy 29 also be true, where this is still yet to happen, where, so the generation of your children shall rise up after you. The stranger shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of that land, the sickness which Yahweh has laid on it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone, salt, burning, that it's not sown, nor bears, nor any grass grows therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah, Zeboim, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger. Even all nations shall say, wherefore has Yahweh done thus unto this land? And what means this heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahweh Elohim of their fathers. And so, point is that I believe that area over there, specifically Jerusalem in the Mediterranean, Israel, the political state of Israel area, as we know it, I believe is going to get absolutely annihilated one day, and will be this, because it says at some point the whole land is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. There's going to be no grass, it's no growing, nothing. It's just going to be a pit waste, and that hasn't happened yet. It didn't happen after 70 AD. That place was still inhabited, tilled, even to this day. And so, if that place has to perpetually be in ashes and pitch, then obviously he's not setting his name there again. That's going to be as a witness for the rest of the nations forever. Where is he going to go? And anyways, I'm convinced it's here in this land. All right, so not much there. Let's go to Numbers 35.
Bemidbar, Numbers chapter 35. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe in the plains of Moab, by the Yarden, near Jericho, saying,
Command the children of Yasharel that they give unto the Leviim of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in, and ye shall give also unto the Leviim suburbs for the cities round about them. And the cities shall they have to dwell in, and the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle, and for their goods, and for all their beasts. And the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Leviim shall reach from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits round about. And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst, and this shall be to them the suburbs of the cities. And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Leviim, there shall be 6 cities for refuge, which ye shall appoint for the manslayer, that he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities. So all the cities which ye shall give to the Leviim shall be 48 cities. Them shall ye give with their suburbs. And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Yasharel. From them that have many ye shall give many, but from them that have few ye shall give few. Everyone shall give of his cities unto the Leviim according to his inheritance, which he inherits.
And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When ye are come over the Yarden into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint your cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which kills any person at unawares. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not, until he stand before the assembly in judgment. And of these cities which ye shall give, 6 cities shall ye have for refuge. Ye shall give 3 cities on this side of the Yarden, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Yasharel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that kills any person unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. That murderer shall surely be put to death. And if he smite him with throwing a stone, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with a hand weapon of wood, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meets him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die, he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meets him. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or with any stone, wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the assembly shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood, according to these judgments. And the assembly shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the assembly shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whither he has fled. And he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was appointed with the holy oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he has fled, and the revenger of blood find him without the border of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood, because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. Whoso kills any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Moreover, ye shall make no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land, until the death of the priest. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defiles the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I, Yahuwah, dwell among the children of Yasharel.
Man, and isn't that what we want? We want the God of Israel to come down and dwell with us yet again. And so we need to prepare the way for the Master's return. And yeah, that's what I want. That's what I thirst for. That's what I hunger for, is for the return of the Elohim of Israel, and to smite this sea, and to remove Pharaoh from power, and to instill his own government. Because this earth was made to be ruled in Torah, not in the wickedness it is. But it's interesting here, really only thought of it just recently, just looking at how these cities were, how they were created, of course, was so that they can protect, the strong could protect the weaker ones. You kind of see that this is the physical way the cities were structured, but even in a spiritual way, Messiah talks to Jeremiah. Here we go. It says, "For behold, I have made you," and consider he was a Levite, should have been a priest, or at least a prophet Levite. It says, "For behold, I have made you this day a defense city, an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof." I think it's in Second Baruch. It says, "Your prayers are as a strong wall." I think that's the passage I was thinking of in the top of my mind. But nevertheless, his priests, his prophets, his kings should have been as walls, protection for the people. That's obviously why he gives them elevation. That's why he gives them kingships, why he gives them priesthoods, why he gives them prophecies, is to protect the people and to shield them and to be as a defense to them. Obviously, the not being able to return to your inheritance until the death of the high priest, in my opinion, has some pretty interesting spiritual implications. Of course, a foreshadow of Yahusha. Not really being able to, we couldn't have our full inheritance, until Yahusha came and died, the true high priest. But all right, really didn't want to go over a whole lot on this chapter again this year. Really, the bulk of the study was what we'd covered. We're going to go through Numbers 36 and finish up this Torah portion. Hallelujah.
Bemidbar, Numbers, chapter 36. And the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spoke before Moshe and before the princes, the chief fathers of the children of Yashrael. And they said,
Yahuwah commanded my Lord to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Yasharel. And my Lord was commanded by Yahuwah to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, unto his daughters. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Yasharel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. And when the jubilee of the children of Yasharel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put into the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers.
And Moshe commanded the children of Yashrael according to the word of Yahuwah, saying, The tribe of the sons of Joseph has said well. This is the thing which Yahuwah commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Yashrael remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Yashrael shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter that possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Yashrael shall be a woman unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Yashrael may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another, but every one of the tribes of the children of Yashrael shall keep himself to his own inheritance. Even as Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Malcha, Tirza, and Chogla, and Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married unto their father's brothers' sons. And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their father. These are the commandments and the judgments which Yahuwah commanded by the hand of Moshe unto the children of Yashrael in the plains of Moab, by the Yarden, near Jericho.
Man, Book of Numbers. We're going to miss the Book of Numbers. I don't know about you. I had a really good time this year going through the Book of Numbers. I feel like a lot of things, I feel like I learned a lot of things this year. And obviously just want to give praise to the Most High. Something that just want to repeat and permeate. Says, Thus says Yahuwah, Let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. But let him that glories glory in this, that he understands and knows me, that I am Yahuwah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth, for in these things I delight. And so all praise and honor to the Most High for what I believe He's revealing to His people in these last days. And I don't know, I'm really excited. I really believe that we're that generation that He's going to do something with in the midst of the nations. And so, at least for me and my house, we want to continue to focus on His ways. And every time I read the scriptures, it's almost like every time I pick it up, there's just something about the separation, the line in the sand between keeping His commands and not. And at least for me and my house, we want to focus on it. You know, there's there's people they're saying that, you know, when you focus on the law, it's like you're taken away from the blood of Christ, and that's of course in mainstream Christianity. But you know, even in this movement, the people that are encouraging or not discouraging focusing on the law to be like, and for some reason that to be counterproductive to growing. That growing is supposedly other things, and I don't understand it, because it's like, how do you come into the knowledge of Torah obedience, walking like Messiah, and then dissuade people from focusing on the law, to which Messiah literally tells us to do that. There's the first Psalm. It says that the person that meditates on it day and night shall be blessed. It says his fruit, you know, will bring forth his fruit, and his leaf will never wither. I want to bring forth fruit. I want my leaf to never wither. So I think that's bad advice. You know, same thing with Deuteronomy 6. It literally says, you shall meditate or think on His Torah when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you wake up, when you lay down. Teach them diligently to your children. So I feel like my whole life should be focused on Torah. And so, you know, anyone out there that, you know, disagrees with that, I want you to know that that's the perspective I come from. Is I want to meditate on the Torah day and night. I want to think about it all the time. I want my whole life to be under the microscope of the Torah. That's just where I'm at, and that's where I want to be, and that's how me and my house want to operate. So, anyways, I just want to make that clear in case any of you feel that is like wrong. You know, I'm not here to challenge you, but I just feel like you should know. If you're listening to me, you should know how I feel and what I'm thinking. And so, anyways, with that being said, I want to share a song. We're gonna pray, and I want to share a song called "My Outcasts," based off of a lot of the stuff we read in Jeremiah 48, Isaiah 16. It's also in Isaiah 15, Zephaniah 2, a couple other places about Moab, which I believe is this country, and I believe He's going to do something really cool in the midst of this country in these last days. And so, anyways, let's pray, and I'll share that song with you guys, and may Yahweh bless you. So, Heavenly Father, Yahweh, we just come before you, and we bless you, and just thank you so much for waking us up, for saving us, and for putting your Spirit in us. And we thank you even for the trials and challenges, which just continue to refine us, and also reveal what needs to be worked out inside of us. And so we just pray your scriptures are true, that you'd never forsake us, and we know that's true, and that you protect us, and that we would be protected, hidden by you in these last days, those who have faith and keep your commandments. We don't have to worry about mark of the beast. We don't have to worry about what a certain B. Gates is doing and what other people are doing. Like, we don't have to care about that. I'm so thankful, Father, and we just need to care about you and be about your business, and you'll handle the rest. That way we don't have to worry about tomorrow, for the tomorrow has worries of its own. Today we worry about loving and obeying you according as you asked. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, here's Outcast. By the way, a little warning. It is more like rock, and so if you don't want your children listening to that, or if it offends you, please forgive me. I'm just feeling super led to make this stuff, so hallelujah.
Moab is near to come, inhabitant of everywhere what is done. They turn from the law of the mighty one, as wisdom all but perish from Teman. Drunkards of Ephraim's on the states what we can eat. He is coming back soon, and he will eat those who consume mice and pigs. So that's easy, no way, not for me. Come, let's love Yahuwah with all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your mind. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. Let's love him all day. I just want to enter through the gates. My Messiah says not to forsake the law, and in fact to meditate on it day and night, and forever it for a sign on your hand, and on your head Revelation 13.